Hello, YouTubers and all those who gloriously watch. Firefox is being an asshole with YouTube, so now I'm gonna have to do this with this ugly camera. So, alright, so you guys all know the Super Nintendo. You probably won't be able to see this too well in the actual video filing. But, alright, so you guys know the Super Nintendo. Little eject button, dust cut door. This is the cool multi-out, which I think is cool. Like I use this rather than this one, so I use this one for the Super Nintendo. And also, you know, the big freak all power cord. Alright, so you guys all know about that. You also know about the quote-unquote extender or extension hole in the bottom. If you don't, it's located down there. And if you see this tab on it, don't bother ripping it off. I'll save you some minutes. That's what it looked like. I'll show you one more time. That's basically what it was down there. Just like Nintendo, though, they don't quite finish the job when it comes to adding stuff in the bottom, or they never bother with that. But today, I wanted to show you guys something, you know, that you can do to mod your Xbox, so that way you can play some actual Famicom games on this without actually going out to buy FC Twin or whatever, without spending that $40 when you already have the thing in front of you. You know, I mean, if you were gonna spend that $40 to play one game that's been in Japan, like, I don't know, Kirby Superstar or whatever, if you're gonna play that or pay that much to play the Japanese version of this, the Super Mario Brothers RPG, you could have just bought the freaking cart if you're gonna pay $40 for a freaking top loader clone system. Though the console, or the console rather, it was produced basically solely for quote-unquote this control deck top loader, was produced basically for American based games. However, though, you can play Japanese games on this thing. You're probably asking how. Explain. Alright, so Lukey probably already did this. Half a dozen people already did this, so I'm gonna have to get the camera so I can see where I'm aiming. Alright, so there's no light. There's some light. There we go. Uber light. Not just light, but uber light. You're gonna see right there. So you can see it. Alright, you can see a little tab down there. Little thing sticking out right there. You guys can see that tab. I'm trying to give you a good view. Those right there, that tab and that tab. Those tabs right there are basically useless. They're not really meant for anything. They're not really, you know, fundamental to actually owning a Super Nintendo. So you can actually play Famicom games, Super Famicom games, if you were to shave those out or get rid of those two tabs and be able to slide the carts inside the console without no problems. But if you already own a Famicom, you know, because you didn't want to like pay like out of the net for one of these things nowadays, or the Genesis and the Nintendos, and you know, you didn't want to pay an arm and a leg for the Japanese Famicoms, even though you could just buy a copy of Gyromite and pray you find a converter in there and, you know, get the ball rolling with that. But if you couldn't find one of those, it's no problem. Just up to by the way, look this up. If it's up to the year 1996, for the game, you're gonna have some problems because there's a lockout thing inside the chip inside the game. So you're gonna have a huge problem with that. But if you were to, let's say, you know, just something under that year, because it won't have the lockout thing, which I don't even understand why they ever did that. I mean, they could still make more money if people just bought the Japanese ones off the arm and the leg. But you can still play Japanese games with the actual console. You just need to take out the tabs and just slide that in. I'm going to show you an example, but I guess I can't. But Because in the back of the American carts, there was this little slide, this little little gaps in there, and you know, the American tabs basically are little annoying little pieces of plastic. So if you go in there and shave them out carefully, you'll have yourselves a good old-fashioned Famicom / American console. Though you won't be able to really play with the 1996 plus games. You're gonna have to figure out which ones are gooder, or the better ones. Gooder, that's no such thing. What are good and what's better for the console that was under the year 1995 below. So, with that said, I just want to show you guys a little trick, even though a lot of people already know this crap already by now, or or pretend like they knew about this shit already by now. I mean, for me, it was something I discovered like a month ago, and I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't care, but it's cool to share tips here and there. People don't really know this stuff. So if anyone who doesn't know this stuff can go, oh, cool, and they can just, if they have an old beat-up Super Nintendo sitting in their closet, but they want to play Japanese games, they don't want to spend like $40 out the neck for a Famicom or a Super Famicom. Just go ahead and shave it out, those parts, and you should be all set. As for me, I'm leaving the tabs alone, because I'll just gun it out for a $20 plug-in slot. So whatever. That, and also Nintendo wanted to actually marketize on that, so that's why they really did that as well. They wanted to put something on the market where you can, or third parties as well, and they'll put something out in the market where you slide a card in. That's where most of those things came from, some third-party distributors. But Nintendo majorly wanted to. Let's put it this way. The Japanese, like Luke told me this before, the Japanese like to keep their games and all their stuff to Japanese, so that's why they kind of, they're kind of like, well, here, we're gonna, if we want to give it to you, we'll Americanize it. Here, take it, throw it at us. But really good ones most of the games are really good at Japanese, so that's something you have to deal with if you, I don't know, solder it down and get a cart from Japan. But other than that, that's just a little trick for you guys to know. Take it easy. Annoying voice out.